Well, it's funny, man. I had a dream one night about Africa, about me doing some charity work there. Next thing I did was called a good friend of mine and asked him what's the plan. Is there any chance of me going to Africa this summer? He was like, it's funny you asked me that because there's a friend of mine who's actually doing a lot of charity work there in Africa, and it'd be great if you could, be a part of it. So I was like, that's great. It fits my brand. It fits the foundation brand. Let's figure it out. And about 7 months later, we ended up going to Africa.
My name is Travis King, and I work with the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation. Amar'e and myself, we both have a strong passion for Africa. Last year, we talked about going over and doing some water well work. We went over to Sierra Leone and provided 2 water wells.
And when we got there, all the tribes were gathered around, cheering, high-fiving. They had their own chant. We knew the area needed some help. Went to an area in Sierra Leone where this certain tribe were using their own waste for water. Very sad story, so we decided to build a water well through the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation.
Once we came back to the States, we just really revamped our plan and wanted to see what was the best way for us to touch and to help as many people as we could in Africa. We decided to try to put together a basketball camp. So Marcus and I sat up and contemplated a couple of ideas in a couple of countries we thought we might be successful, and the country of Mali came up. So we reached out to our friend with the Each One Teach One Foundation, Bill Beckett. He took a trip to Mali and he took a trip to Guinea to research and try to find places where we could host the Amar'e Stoudemire Foundation Each One Teach One camp.
I went to Mali and built this academy, this clinic. And what we did, put this clinic together for these kids, and they came out and had a great time, and they enjoyed it.
Mali is 100% French speaking, and obviously none of us speak French. So it looked like it was gonna be a little challenge for us to host this camp. We reached out to Nike. They reached out and helped us come up with shoes and t-shirts and uniforms, balls, Spark training equipment, and we loaded up everything and we're off on our way. We arrived at the arena where the Mali national team plays. And the first thing that I noticed is there's a huge hole in the middle of the lane with concrete blocks stacked up to try to plug the hole up in the floor from the rain. If you look down at some of the kids playing, their legs are scuffed up. But outside of that, these kids don't complain. It's just basically the opportunity for them to go play. And I think we had probably 40 kids that attended the camp. 35 of the kids had over 7-foot wingspans. When you ask how tall they were, most of them didn't even know. Once we got all the size issues worked out and what positions people played, we lined everybody up and put them in a position so that we could break off into teams and start day 1 of the camp.
What we're doing with that project is now providing education. So we're having an African exchange program to where we're bringing over some students from Africa to the United States for a few years to pursue education so that they can take what they learned back to Mali to teach the rest of their family and friends.
Ultimately, our dream was realized when we established who would be the first kid that we could take. I think it came pretty crystal clear after the second day that it was Boubacar Mangor. Boubacar's a 6'5", he's probably 6'6" now, point guard with a 7'2" wingspan. He was the captain of the junior national team for Mali, won the top scorer and was the best player for the African Cup for 16-year-olds. He's a very special talent. We established that Boubacar would be the first one, but it was halfway between he and Omar. Omar was the 7-foot, 15-year-old with the 7'9" wingspan. You can't teach size, obviously. Most college coaches, I know by dealing with them, I've sent over 400 kids to play college basketball. They're either looking for tall point guards, which Boubacar was, or 7-footers, which Omar was. So at that point, we wanted to just try to look at both of their backgrounds and see which one for the test project would be the most successful with their certain situation. We wanted to go visit both their houses, meet their families, and really see their background, introduce ourselves, and let them know that we're coming here to stay. Once we pulled up to Boubacar's house, I knew it was a totally different situation probably than I've ever seen. There's no running water. There's 5 or 6 people living in a one-room mud hut, and everybody's smiling. His situation, he's basically looked upon from the family as being a provider. Over there, basketball is not how you provide for your family. You get out and work every day and you hopefully go to school.
So we bring our first student over, Boubacar Mangor, bring him over to the United States. He's now pursuing his education, and he's gonna go back and teach others. So this is what the Amar'e Stoudemire Each One Teach One Foundation is all about. It's about really providing education and curing poverty through education. So that's our goal, that's what we're after, and we appreciate the support that we've been getting so far and looking to continue this great success. Teach One, Teach One, and the Z Foundation, we really wanted to contribute to this fund and make sure that they are safe and clean water.
Is leadership the same as treachery? Sorry for the hurt, sorry that the destiny seems to be the ever clear and present danger. The clear and present danger.
Yeah, that's what we do, baby. This is my story. What's yours?